Leicester City are out to the bottom three. Yesterday's win gave Ruud van Nistelrooy's Foxes a very important 3 points that secured them their first 3 points since the 3rd of December. People have rightfully criticised Leicester for how poor their squad really is, particularly in defence. But there's one man who stood out in quality and promise who I'll be talking about today. It's not Jamie Vardy, it's not Matt Hermansen, it's Bilal El Khannouss. After signing for 20 million last summer, the 20-year-old Moroccan attacking midfielder has been the brightest spot for Van Nistelrooy's side this season, and most definitely will have a queue of clubs banging down the door should Leicester City take the fall to the 2nd division again. So in this video I'll be taking a closer look at him as a player, his performance against Spurs, what he really excels at, little areas he can improve, and where I see him suiting if worse comes to worse for Leicester City. Let's go. Now let's run through some context first as to who he is. Bilal El Khannouss spent his youth career in Belgium for Genk before making his league debut for the club in May of 2022. He did originally represent Belgium at youth level in the under-18s before making the switch to Morocco, where he's achieved 14 caps since and was a part of Morocco's squad for their World Cup dream run and Morocco's 2024 Olympic run. When he first joined Leicester, Steve Cooper didn't really give him a chance. He made just 3 starts in the league under Steve Cooper and had 0 90-minute appearances. But under Van Nistelrooy, he's been terrific and gives Leicester a fighting chance of survival. El Khannouss is a creative but admirably hard-working number 10 who really excels in his ball control, passing, ball retention, work rate, quick passes and quite a bit more. Now Leicester play in a familiar 4-2-3-1 structure as El Khannouss, as you can imagine, fills in here. With the ball, the shape used to be a 3-2-5, Christensen pushing up whilst Justin tucks inside, or Justin pushing up as Christensen tucks inside. Against Spurs, I thought the fullbacks achieved this shape a lot. Yes, but it was slightly different as I felt the fullbacks played a little more traditionally, at times sitting just above the centre-backs. Of course, when Justin would commit forward, Christensen was very cautious, as Leicester in transition this season has been one of, if not the worst side in the league. But El Khannouss takes his position up in the half spaces, really looking to take the ball forward and create. When Leicester play out, he doesn't just stay high though. He contains the skill and work rate to drop in deep and find solutions for Leicester when playing out. But with the ball, he's very silky, technical, creative and smart. When a teammate passes him the ball, he likes it played right to his feet. When receiving the ball on the half turn, he manoeuvres and shifts his agile frame very easily, as his body opening to the ball is top. He's never not prepared to receive, as he's very quick on his feet. Once the ball meets the side of his boot, his control is excellent. The ball is glued to his feet. His movement and control is all done so carefully, but so natural, as you can tell he's worked a lot on it. He's always looking forwards, head up and aware of the opposition numbers surrounding him. Once he's got the ball retention does the talking because of his quick feet, but that's not all he has in his locker. He can make quick passes very nicely and very smoothly. He does so when dropping in deep, when I mentioned earlier. It's especially important in deeper positions with the opposition's press and being closer to your goal that he arranges his body and his feet well as he receives the ball. And to have the ability to play it fast, forward and skillfully is excellent, but also to glide past opponents and bait opposition in. He can play with the ball in the air, he can use a drop of the shoulder and breeze past the player, he can keep the ball glued to his feet and hunt for space to drive into. The point is, he's the type of player that you enjoy to watch. The standout player, the player who's in a tight space and you wonder how he just got out of it. The player you watch closely for on purpose because you know he can make something happen. He can really tease a player 1v1 by producing mostly body feints and a massively well emphasised fake pass as he places his right foot on top of the ball. And whilst doing this, remember, he can so swiftly and easily turn his frame, making it very easy for him just to cut back into any room of space and turn his body around very quickly, which is one of the many uses of being so mobile. We've spoken plenty on his manipulation of the ball and his ball control. Let's talk passing, because creatively he really impresses me. We know he can pass quick, but his range of passing and weight of passes are exceptional for a 20-year-old. His range of passes differ really well. He finds Vardy multiple times a game with his threaded but perfectly well weighted through balls along the ground. He accesses the wide players really nicely with quick combination play before making a floated side-footed pass out wide. He can find a simple pass into a space for the winger close by, looking to bait in the fullback towards him, creating more room for the winger to run with. And he even excels at his long-range passing to hit runners and behinds, and crosses too. For such a young player, his passes are always so well hit, always with the perfect weight, height, precision, and are pretty much Vardy's dream to run onto in behind the defensive line. He can pass the ball very quick with quick combination play, whilst also moving it forward. But if they're more simple passes that don't take too much power or real emphasis in execution, then they are very well hidden and distinct when need be. So he's a really tricky and intelligent player for any opponent looking to disrupt the play. When entering the final third, he can accelerate with the ball pretty fast, and even though he may not appear as the physical type, he's a decent box crusher, as we saw with his goal against West Ham. His talents are probably best put to actually delivering the ball with his creative specialties, but he does a good job of himself in the final third. A little inconsistent, but he's raw and new to the Premier League, so who can blame him? Off the ball is where I'm even more amazed at his skill sets. Stereotypically, players of his dribbling style need to be sometimes carried out of possession, a little passive without the ball. But El Khannouss isn't. Leicester out of possession set up in Ruud's usual 4-4-2. It aims to remove central progression and force a team out wide as the shape is very compact. El Khannouss partners Vardy in that front two. El Khannouss is very hard working and without any hesitation. Some attacking players may look around when tracking back and think, am I really supposed to be here? Looking at me at lost and half committed to staying forward and half committed to helping out. El Khannouss isn't. He sees runners, he tracks them when deep, but he brings the intensity high up the pitch too. He understands well when to pounce and does so aggressively, as he's a pretty good ball winner with standing tackles, slide tackles, blocks, whatever. The average is really high for tackles per 90 for a midfielder, and overall, in this department, is surprisingly so accomplished. His tactical IQ and understanding of space and opponents is highly impressive. His goal against Spurs was brilliant, of course. A fantastic finish where he alters his technique to strike the ball almost like a pass that steers into the goal but away from the goalkeeper. But that's not what I'm looking at here. The amount of checks and scans he makes around before receiving the ball is what you see from Xavi at Barcelona. He's completely aware of the space he's in, the time he's got, how many touches he should take, and he knows the ball is definitely coming to him. That sets him up perfectly for the rest of the move. In summary, I think El Khannouss is a special talent. It gives Leicester a quality chance of survival if he stays fit and consistent. He has a strong mentality and admirable skill set that any team would want. If Leicester was to stay up, then make it a big summer transfer window and build the team around him. But if they don't, there's no way he stays in the Championship. A lot of teams play that 3-2-5 shape with the ball, so he'd be fairly accustomed to most teams in football. Who wouldn't want him? Premier League teams I'd like to see him with would be Bournemouth, maybe Brighton, or even Arsenal, as I think he massively suits those teams who share so much promise, and I think the style is a match for match all round. Thank you for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, make sure to subscribe and check out any other videos. What do you think of Bilal El Khannouss? Has he got enough to keep Leicester City up? How good do you think he is? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.